It is Saturday night. We have 100 people here to draft with us, so let's go ahead. Let's get this party started, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be hopping in a 2023 fantasy football draft. The Fast Puppy dropped, 3 days ago? And in 3 days, the Fast Puppy, this is the 30-second timer, has 48,000 entrants. If you look at the Slow Puppy, this dropped 3 days ago as well. It has 14,000 entrants. So, I mean, 60,000 total entrants in like 3 days. $5 buy-in, $75,000 first place, $40,000 second place, $25,000 third. Let's go ahead. Let's get this started. Happy to see y'all out here. Thank you so much, everybody, coming and drafting with us. Hopefully, we get a good spot. Y'all know I am committed. Now that we've seen our guy Bijan Robinson at the NFL draft, now that we've seen him in real life again at the gym a couple days ago, we're going to go ahead and take Bijan Robinson in a ton of these. Now, in this one in particular, we are drafting at the 101. So don't necessarily know if we can take Bijan Robinson here, but we'll go Justin Jefferson and figure it out. If he were to fall to us at the 212, I promise you we'll take our guy. But thank you so much, everybody coming out. Bear says, pop the sparkling water, Mace. Sadly, I am cutting myself off for sparkling water for the day. Today, I've had a great day. Went to the lake, somehow convinced some people to bring me out on their boat. Was a ton of fun. Killed it wake surfing, per usual. Then went to a winery after. Y'all know I'm not drinking. Instead, I'm training for the Ironman. So the entire day, I was drinking sparkling waters. I got to cut myself off of sparkling waters, at least for today. I probably had like 7 or 8 of them. We're going to stick with the regular H2O at this point. But let's get this started. We are at the 101. We're going to take Justin Jefferson here off the board. Not too much to discuss, right? But please let me know if you are in this draft with us. We have another Mason in here at pick 4. Love to see it. Stonk Bob in here at pick 11. Finn asking if this is pre-recorded. If this is pre-recorded, I'm the most talented person on the planet. Mike in here at pick 8. Happy to see you, my friend. And we got Noah out here. Let's go. Ashanon in here, 7th spot. And Stonk Bob 11. Tommy knows 5. Daniel out here at 12. Happy to see you. Carb Muffin out here with us a lot. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Going to be an exciting draft. And pretty much everybody here is a member of the flock. And Mason asked what lake. It was a Lake Travis in Austin, my friend. Jimmy asking favorite lake activity. I don't go to the lake too often. We went like 2 days ago and somehow went again today. So very rarely do I go to the lake. Like that was probably like the first time in a year, 2 weeks ago, but got lucky enough over the past few weeks. I love wake surfing. I've learned that. So like I said, y'all know the Underdog tournament where it's $3 million to first place Best Ball Mania. I've convinced myself now that I need to win Best Ball Mania. I need to get the $3 million first place prize. That way I can buy myself a lake house this next year and a boat as well. And I guess a little surfing board. But real quick, of course, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream, subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. And if you want to get in a draft with us, these are drafts on Underdog Fantasy. We are doing these literally every single day until 2024. They're best balls, so no time commitment at all during the year. It's how I drafted 700 teams and how I won $150,000 last year. I mean, this is the tournament that's the puppy, $5 buy-in, $75,000 first place prize. A member of the flock actually won this draft last year, crazy enough. And this is the same spot where they have all those player props. I'm sure you all are tired of seeing in the videos by now. I mean, they have the baseball ones, which you can ignore, except that Patrick Mahomes special up there, and then all the NFL lines. Quick side note, of course, they have the free Patrick Mahomes line up until July 21st. So please, everybody, make sure you're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. And if you want to sign up to Underdog and get one of these drafts with us, you can find that link in the comment section, description, or live chat. If you use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. And also with promo code FLOCK, you're going to get our 2023 fantasy football rankings and a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And Evan says, are these drafts on the website or app or both? They're on both, my friend. So I draft a lot of these teams on the app on my phone. This is on the website on my computer. TT Warrior says, what's the max bet on Mahomes? I believe it's $20. Could be wrong. Maybe it's a little more. Minimum, it's going to be 20, though. Okay, let's swing this back around. Devonta Smith off the board. G put on the clock. They go to Derrick Henry. We're definitely going to take Mahomes, and then I don't know. We'll go Jacobs to get a little unique. I think with the concern of the Jacobs holdout, maybe you want to be taking Ramondre Stevenson over Josh Jacobs. But I think if you look at the overall tournament here, you're going to see more starts of Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, Ramondre Stevenson than you will be Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs. So let's go ahead. Let's get Jacobs off the board 25. I mean, yeah, you have to be concerned about a holdout. And if Josh Jacobs holds out, if he doesn't play this next season, then I guess I will lose my $5. But obviously, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's $75,000 for first place. We're drafting assuming that everything's going right for us. Okay. The myth play says, no way he got the wide receiver 1, running back 1, and quarterback 1. I mean, yeah, if you're looking at what these guys did last year, Jacobs wasn't the running back 1. That was Austin Eckler, but he's pretty damn close. Pretty damn close to if we would have had this start last year. I mean, we'd be crushing everybody else, right? Michael says, quarterback on Netflix is fire. I'm about an episode and a half in. So I'm like saving it for special occasions, right? Because I've told y'all before, I watch YouTube all freaking day. Like, from the time I wake up to the time I'm going to bed, I pretty much have a YouTube video playing in the background, but I'm never really paying 100% attention to a YouTube video. It's always just background noise. It's always just how you like treat a podcast, right? Now, at night, before the season starts, I'd actually say for probably about the next month, I have the time to actually sit down and give all my attention to something and watch it. But generally when I'm doing that, I have to be watching something with a girlfriend. We're watching Game of Thrones now, so not watching the quarterback with her. But I've been saving the quarterback on Netflix for when I'm in the sauna at my house. So I've been getting in about like 15 minutes a day since it's dropped. So I'm on like episode 2.5, I want to say. Okay. Let's see. Trent says, my wife hates football but likes the documentary. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I really like the tennis documentary on Netflix too. Okay, you have Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen off the board here at the 3-4 turn. Breece Hall makes it down to 35. Super interesting team there at 11. You have A.J. Brown making it down to you at 11 with Devontae Adams, Breece Hall. You have fire starter going CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams out the gate as well. So I really like those teams at 10 and 11 as well. Jerry Jeudy pick 38. We're most likely going to be looking to go wide receiver there at the 4-5 turn, depending on what falls to us. Hyber's asking, is why having more receiver slots in a league make receiver more or less valuable? Oh, 100%. The more wide receiver slots that you add into your starting lineup, the more valuable wide receivers are going to become. And I'd say the same thing almost if it's a full PPR format and you are adding in more flex spots. The more flex spots you add in a full PPR format, the more wide receivers become valuable. Suma Bro says late stream today. Yes, sir. I'm sorry about the late stream. I knew we were going to be busy today. I didn't know if we were going to go like super early live stream like we did a couple weeks back whenever I had something to do on Saturday. There we live streamed at like 5 something in the morning. And today we decided to go late night live stream. But y'all know I've committed. I'm not missing a single day of live streaming until 2024. We've gone every single day without missing since April. And I'm not going to miss a day till 2024. So it doesn't matter what we have to do. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. But NRG says, Mason, I just drafted at the 101 in a puppy. I got Jefferson, then Barkley, Allen at the... I would definitely trade my start of Jefferson, Mahomes, Jacobs for Jefferson, Barkley, Allen. That is awesome, my man. Okay. Henry saying we are for sure going to miss. Come on. You think I'm going to miss today? Okay, Hopkins goes. So we're definitely just going to go Joe Mixon, Christian Kirk. Now, feel like a little bit of a hypocrite because if y'all remember what we were saying previously, it's like, fourth round Joe Mixon seems a little bit steep. But probably going to go ahead and take Kenneth Walker over Joe Mixon, blah, blah, blah. Well, now that Joe Mixon's restructured his contract and you have zero concerns about him being in Cincinnati, now I have to pivot and now I need to start drafting Joe Mixon. I have to do it. Okay. Sumo Bro says, I was there at the 6 a.m. live stream. I had work Saturday morning. So what a better day than to start off with a Flock live stream. True that, my man. True that. And now Jesse says, Team 11 looking good. Yeah, Team 11, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Breece Hall, Jerry Jeudy. I do like that team as well. Now, J.K. Dobbins off the board, pick 53. Now, for us, we definitely need wide receiver, right? Like, you have to start 3 wide receivers in this league. We know that wide receivers are going to go off the board early. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like we do have a flexible start here with Jefferson, Kirk, wide receiver, Jacobs Mixon at running back, Mahomes at QB. Like, in general, whenever you take Justin Jefferson round 1, Jamar Chase round 1, you just have to be excited about all the flexibility that you're getting. You know, you're getting so much flexibility with how you can build the rest of your team. And that's why my favorite pick, honestly, is going to be 1, is going to be 2. Because when you have Justin Jefferson, when you have Jamar Chase, you can kind of get away with a lot. Wyatt asking why Christian Kirk. So the wide receivers that go in this range that we had access to were Christian Kirk, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin. Honestly, if I had to rank these guys, I'd probably go Kirk, Godwin, Ayuk, then Deontay Johnson. But yeah, let me know in the live chat, are any of y'all strongly preferring Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin, or Deontay Johnson over Christian Kirk? For me, it's kind of whatever. I think they're all kind of about the same. Except Deontay. I do not like Deontay at this price. Mosk asking why we cut our hair. I did not cut my hair, my friend. I just got out of the shower. Okay. Mike says he liked the way we ranked them. I like Kirk more. I like Godwin more. Ayuk and Goblin over Kirk. Imagine if a wide receiver had the last name Goblin. Like, oh. If Chris Godwin's last name was Goblin, I would have taken him there. If I could have said we were drafting Goblin, that would be a badass setup. Okay. Now we have Lockett off the board 62, JSN 61. Adam here, obsessed with my girlfriend, my man. If we hit the 200,000 subscribers before the season starts and we do the 24-hour live stream, I will convince the girlfriend to come on the live stream and draft a fantasy football team. If we do the 24-hour live stream, I will make her come on and draft a team for us. Madison Lawrence. Let's swing this back around. Casey asking, can we get Adam on the live stream? Love it, love it. Okay. Let's see. Akers off the board, 66. I have not drafted a ton of Cam Akers. Now, it's really interesting is if you look at like casual redraft leagues in comparison to like these underdog drafts where obviously there's just a lot more money at stake. People are drafting Cam Akers a lot higher in these underdog drafts than like a casual redraft league. Addison goes 68. Cable coming out of the donation. Thank you, my friend. And Noah says, can't imagine how ridiculous it would be for my wife to try to draft a team Actually, she would auto pick and go do something else that she actually cares about. Yeah, I would say pretty much the same thing about my girlfriend, my man. I mean, my girlfriend, if I went, I'll give you $1,000 for every NFL player you can name. Let me think about how many she could probably do. She could name Joe Burrow for sure. She could name Patrick Mahomes most likely. She could name Bijan Robinson because we talk about Bijan Robinson constantly. Do we go Pittman Dotson or do we go Pittman Goddard? I'm going to let y'all pick. We're definitely taking Michael Pittman here. Not thinking about that at all. But please let me know if you're going to go Dotson or Dallas Goedert. Spam the chat. We have almost 500 people here. Whoever you want between Dotson, Dallas Goedert, we're going with. Okay. Dotson, Goddard. Pittman, Dotson, Goddard, Goddard, Dotson. Seems pretty split. Dotson, Goddard. Okay, so it looks like most people are going Goddard at this point. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take Goddard. Big reason if we can take Goddard here as well is we can save face and act like we're not extremely stupid by passing on Kadarius Toney and not going for the Mahomes Toney stack. Like most smart people here, I'd say pretty much anybody who is smart decides, okay, well, I have Patrick Mahomes. We've already made the bet that Mahomes is going to give us the spike week when we need him. So blah, blah, blah. We need to take Kadarius Toney. I just can't do it. I can't draft Kadarius Toney over Dallas Goedert. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Okay. And Quentin Johnson off the board, 78. I really like our team, especially now that we have Michael Pittman making it to us a pick 72. I hear you're getting Michael Pittman pretty much as a wide receiver 4 in these drafts. Toney goes pick 80. And I understand, like, Michael Pittman was bad last year. If you look at his yards per route run, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. A lot of people convinced themselves that freaking Michael Pittman was Julio Jones because they thought Matt Ryan turned Julio Jones into Julio Jones for whatever reason. And they went ahead and they called Michael Pittman a league-winning wide receiver in round 3. It was obnoxious. It was ridiculous. And you should never listen to them. Now, Michael Pittman was someone I literally never drafted at all last year. Didn't think Matt Ryan was any good. Didn't see why people were that hyped on Michael Pittman. But now, if you're getting him at this price point, I got to take him. I'm literally taking Michael Pittman over Tyler Lockett. I hate to say it. Especially if you look at like the pick'ems on Underdog, like it seems very aggressive for me to say Pittman over Lockett. If you look at Pittman here, I mean, they have Pittman straight up for the same amount of receiving yards as Hawkinson. Like, you could pick a side there. But they have him at 800 receiving yards. And if you look at Lockett, they have Lockett at 825. I guess there's not a big gap between the two. They do have Lockett for more receiving touchdowns, right? They have Lockett for 4.5. Pittman only at 4. Zay Flowers, 87. B-Dub says, Toney has been talking reckless on social media lately. LOL if he got cut before the season. Okay, he's not going to get cut. I'll say that. I've seen Kadarius Toney wilding out there and DMing New York Giants fans, letting the trolls get to him. But there's no way in hell Kadarius Toney's getting cut. It's not happening. Now, I will say, if Toney were to get cut, your boy would be printing money, as I have no Kadarius Toney. Well, let's move this over here. So we're up in 6 picks. We have a very balanced team. Cable coming out of the donation says, who do you like with A.J. Brown at the turn? Are you going to Devontae Adams? In these underdog drafts where you have to start 3 wide receivers, yes, I would love pairing up A.J. round with Devontae Adams. Yes, 100%. Okay. Thomas off at 90. James Cook goes 91. James Conner 92. If we get Pacheco to pair up with Mahomes, I'd actually really like that. And of course, that does not happen. Now, I'm not going to blame this guy at all for taking Isaiah Pacheco, pick 93. I mean, phenomenal Isaiah Pacheco value. Dalvin goes 94. Kamara off. I'm actually going to take Evan Ingram here. We have Kirk's. We've already made that bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars passing offense. This can work out a couple different ways. One, if the Jags are a better passing offense than people expect. Two, if, say, Calvin Ridley were to go down, or he would just be not as good as people expect. And I think we're going to go running back. And we'll go ahead and we'll take Antonio Gibson. Now, once we take Evan Ingram, we are done drafting tight ends. We're only going to be able to take 2 tight ends with this build. So, I feel like we're put in a tough spot, right? Like when we're 3 to 4 picks away and we're looking at the possibility of taking James Conner, Isaiah Pacheco, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, I'm pumped at that possibility. Like I'm going to go through, I'm going to take those guys every single time here. Once they're off the board, I feel like we are put in a tougher spot, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Let's move this down. A.J. Dillon off the board, 99. And we only have 3 wide receivers, but those 3 wide receivers, including Justin Jefferson. So I feel like it does give us a lot of flexibility. Loesch asking who our favorite last pick flyer is. His is Greg Dortch in Arizona, based off Hollywood only being the only guy there. I know we had a lot of people in the live chat earlier in the year loving Zach Ertz in the last round. Are y'all still into last round Zach Ertz? Let me know. Frymuth off the board at 101. I mean, obviously what we are wanting selfishly is we were wanting to see as many tight ends off the board. Henry says I was taking a ton of Ertz early, but I stopped a while ago. Nick saying he's a bad last round pick. Charles saying his knee is blown up. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is saying 49% Ertz. Okay, so Tesla, you're the guy who likes Zach Ertz. Trying to figure out, because we had a live stream earlier in the year and everybody's spamming the chat talking about how much they freaking like Zach Ertz. But we found the culprit. We found him. Tesla here. He was probably in that live stream a while ago. He's a long time member of the flock. But Margaret Ward saying he loves last round Noah Fant. I love Noah Fant, the player. The thing is, there are just so many freaking weapons. Like, what's wild is if you look at the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, they have how many players being drafted inside the first 6 rounds of fantasy football drafts? They have Metcalf, Walker, Lockett, JSN inside the first 6 rounds. If you include Zach Charbonnet, they have 5 guys inside the first 9 rounds. Like, I love Fant the player. It just seems like a really difficult spot to get him the ball this next year. But real quick, let me show you all the draft board just in case you're coming in. And if you're just now coming in this live stream, make sure you go down there, dropping a like on this stream. And of course, if we had 350 likes in this live stream, we're going to fire up another draft after this one. And if you want to get in our next draft, if you want to go check out any of those player props on Underdog, or if you want to go take advantage of the free line that they have on Underdog with Patrick Mahomes here. You can find the link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat, in the description, the comment section. Promo code FLOCK will get you a 100% deposit match up to $100 and our 2023 fantasy football rankings, plus a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And here's where Underdog is available, and pretty much available in every single state. But if your state's in yellow, has Underdog Fantasy, also everywhere in Canada outside of Ontario. Okay. Now, Brian Robinson off 111. Y'all know I'm looking for some Brian Robinson in this round. Yeah, y'all know I like Brian Robinson in round 10. Samaje Perine, 113. Perine's been falling a bit in these drafts. Sky Moore, definitely someone that we're looking at when we have Mahomes here. Sky Moore, definitely someone we're watching get drafted there at pick 114. Daniel Jones off. So let's see where the Chiefs are in this draft. Okay, we have ADP 145, ADP 153. Those are the guys left. So let's not forget these players, but we cannot take them at 120, 121. Okay, Odell Beckham Jr. off the board. Let's think, Mason, think. Okay, on the way back around, we probably want to be done drafting. I don't really want to be taking running backs in that range. Let's take Devon A-Chain and Khalil Herbert. Let's make this a pretty unique team, taking our 5th running back before our 4th wide receiver. So now we're going to be done drafting running backs. We're going to be done drafting tight ends. We are going to be taking one more quarterback, and the rest of the way we'll be going wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. Let's figure this out. Because in my mind, it's just such a flat wide receiver tier. I don't really understand the advantage that you get by taking a wide receiver in round 10, just in comparison to the wide receivers that are available in round 11 or 12. So, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's try to figure this out. Let's figure this out. Okay. Duke says he has $555 invested into Jamal Williams at 37% exposure and Best Ball Mania 4 alone. I'm sure you're hoping for the Kamara suspension in that point, my friend. Sure, you're hoping for that Kamara suspension. Okay, so. And what I'm hoping for is running back and tight end to get drafted. That's what I'm trying to see. Running backs off the board. Let's see that green. Let's see that money. Okay. Rondell, 128. Okay, quarterbacks we could go with. Rodgers not really in play. Goff really not in play. Russ we could do because we could then look to grab Patrick and Mims later on. Rodgers goes 132. I believe that's the Garrett Wilson team, right? Yeah, that's the Garrett Wilson team. Apologize for jumping the screen back and forth. Goff goes. The year 2 tight end in Tennessee off the board. Osborne goes. I was actually looking at KJ Osborne if he was going to make it to us. So even if we like the value on Schultz, we probably can't take Dalton Schultz just because we have Dallas Goedert, Evan Ingram already. It's pretty much the only thing we can look at here. Derek Carr. We could go Shaheed later if we really wanted to. Naeem says, how do we know who will win Best Ball Mania if we can't get out of the qualifier? You will see me running around YouTube screaming, I won Best Ball Mania, I won Best Ball Mania, I won Best Ball Mania. I'm going to win Best Ball Mania, my friend. It's just, how do you get that information? I'll tell you. Don't worry. Okay. See what G-Put does. Goes Russ. Okay, we were going to take Russell Wilson with one of these picks if he was going to make it to us. But instead, we'll go ahead and we'll get the double stack there with Patrick Mahomes, with Rashee Rice, as well as Marquez Valdes-Scantling. So now, wide receiver, we have Jefferson, Christian Kirk, Michael Pittman, Rashee Rice, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Running back, we have Jacobs, Mixon, Antonio Gibson, Devon Achane, Khalil Herbert. Tight end, we have Goddard, Evan Ingram. Quarterback, we have Patrick Mahomes. So in terms of our correlating pieces, we have Mahomes stacked up with Rashee Rice and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. We have the consolidated bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars passing offense with Christian Kirk as well as Evan Ingram. Okay. Duke says, if I win the first thing, I'm buying a suit, then buying the channel from you. Trying to think if I would accept your $3 million offer, my friend. We'll see. Only if I can stay on as a model. Chris says, happy Saturday, Mason. Can you give me your thoughts on this dynasty trade for a rebuilding team? Kelsey for a future first, second, and Calvin Ridley. If it's a super flex format, yeah, take the picks and Ridley, and then go ahead and try to flip Ridley, because I think if it's at super flex format and you could say take Calvin Ridley in the second and then get an additional future first, in my mind on a rebuilding roster, it's a no-brainer to trade a tight end that's going to turn 34 this next year for 2 future first. I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Algier off 152. Devin Singletary off the board as well. So great for us, right? We just want to see all these running backs and tight ends get drafted. Noah says, accept and make a new channel. Don't sign and not compete. Easy money. Okay, yeah. Duke, I will sell this channel to you for $3 million. You know, the branding, you know, everything. Take it all. Take it all. Take it all. This face is where the money's at, though, my man. I'll tell you that. Noah here has the right idea. Okay, Mims, Donovan Peoples-Jones, both off the board. Realistically speaking, I wonder how long it would take me to build up the channel again. Not to have 150,000 subs or whatever. That would take years. But in terms of just seeing the same amount of views on videos, like to just say, I think right now we're getting like 20,000 views a video or whatever, or like 500 people live. I think it would take us one football season. Loge says, what made you decide to start making fantasy content? I was the kid in college that would wake up listening to a Dynasty Fantasy Football podcast, and I would listen to about 10 of them throughout the entire day and then go to sleep. Like, it was just in my ear from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And also, I won like 4 years in a row, just a crap ton of money in Dynasty from about 2014 through 2018. So by the time I got to 2019, I was like, okay, I've never had a losing season. I love listening to this stuff. I probably will really like talking about it. So just started talking about it in college. Never thought in a million years that could actually be a job. And it somehow, some way turned into a job, which I am the luckiest person on the planet for. Okay, so let's see what T. Smitty decides to do here. We have a simple plan. I'm a simple man with a simple plan. Let's see. T. Smitty ruins our simple plan here. Take Jaden Reed and Curtis Samuel. Reed being the best wide receiver value on the board. Curtis Samuel, I kind of like him more than the other wide receivers in this range. And at the same time, we have the consolidated bet in that Washington offense with Antonio Gibson already. So maybe we can go Sam Howell around 16, 17. Okay. Cameron coming out says 10-team Superflex. We have Josh Allen / Tyreek Hill. Diggs owner wants Tyreek, but I don't like Hill Diggs straight up, even if I get the stack. What would be the counter? If it's a 10-team Dynasty Superflex format, if you want to pivot from Tyreek to Diggs to get the Allen Diggs stack, I'd be looking to pick up an additional future second-round pick. If it's a casual redraft format, obviously it's going to be much more difficult. At that point, I would probably be just trying to get a tier up elsewhere in your lineup, whether that's moving from, say, Greg Dulcich to Evan Ingram, or moving from, say, Condre Miller to James Cook. I'd be looking to get a tier up like that, my friend. I hope that helps. But Jesse says, holy QB run. Yes, I thought we were going to be able to get a quarterback. And y'all see what happens here. Of Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Brock Purdy, Bryce Young, Matthew Stafford, Jordan Love, all going in a span of 6 picks. Crazy. Ross says, my highest owned player is Kyler. Am I doing this wrong? Nope, you were doing exactly what you should, my friend. Love me some Kyler Murray. I know everybody wants to say, oh no, Mason, you're an idiot. Kyler Murray's not going to play this year, blah, blah, blah. Kyler Murray's going to miss X amount of games. You can't draft Kyler Murray. In reality, when I'm in these tournaments on Underdog, I'm just trying to have the highest ceiling possible for weeks 15, 16, 17 for the fantasy football playoff stretch. So I say, even if Kyler Murray does miss as much time as everybody's worried about, I'm still kind of fine to go through and take him where he goes, because hell, at the end of the day, we'll have the elite level upside for when it matters in that fantasy football playoff tournament. Okay. Now, Jesse says 40 likes for another draft. Yes, if y'all have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. If we hit 350, we will fire up another draft after this one. And if y'all want to get in that next draft, link in the live chat description, comment section. It's everywhere. Promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match up to $100. Our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And also make sure you're taking advantage of the free Mahomes line that they have up until July 21st. Know a lot of people, even that y'all are already on Underdog, are thinking, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do that the next day. Well, there have been a lot of times on Underdog, they've given us a free line, and I've said I'll do it the next day, and then I've forgotten. So please make sure you go take advantage of the free line today, or tomorrow at the latest. Okay, Hyatt goes off the board to 187. We're still looking wide receiver if we can get him. Okay. Pickett goes 190. Yeah, that team had 3 QBs. Interesting to see Allen Love, and then you go Kenny Pickett QB3. Shakir off the board. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Wan'Dale Robinson at wide receiver. Y'all know I like me some Wan'Dale. And we're going to go Sam Howell at quarterback to get the double stack with Antonio Gibson as well as Curtis Samuel. So it's an interesting spot, right? An interesting spot to say the least. And then, yeah, we are 14 likes away from firing up our next draft. So the second we get there, if we do, we're just going to bounce from this draft and hop in to the next one. But 49ers Collection says, got my black and white shield today, Mason. Congrats, my man. Love the profile pick as well, having the Trey Lance a rookie card, I'm assuming. I don't know. Not a big card collector, but hell, I mean, a big Lance collector in fantasy football draft. So I guess I'm kind of up your same alley. Okay. So let's move this down. Nick says Sam Howell over Trey Lance. My man, I took Lance in the $1,000 draft. I'm taking Lance where it matters. All right. This is a $5 one. But let's go ahead and let's hop into the next puppy draft after this. Just in case you are new here, just in case you don't know what's going on. I know everybody does, but anyway, this is the Fast Puppy. This tournament on Underdog, $5 buy-in, $500,000 prize pool. First place prize, $75,000. Second place prize, $40,000. We actually had a member of the flock win this tournament last year for $75K. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get in this bad boy. Where are we picking from? The complete opposite end of the draft board, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be in here at 12 now. Hopefully we get our guy Bijan Robinson. Yeah, y'all know we got to interview him. You know, I went to the University of Texas. So we saw him at the draft. We saw him at our school back in the day. Saw him at the gym a couple days ago. Hopefully we get our guy. But let me know if you're in this draft with us. Mark a word in here at 11. Jesse says 12 spots, the best spot. Trey in here at pick 10. Okay, so it looks like I doubt we get Bijan Robinson with Mark a word and Trey literally right before us. Okay. Adam says, who's Rummy Rams? We're in both these Underdog drafts together, but neither are in with Mason. Rummy Rams is Saram. He's out here in the draft with us all the time. Love Stars says he likes pick 12 as well. We'll make pick 12 work. I definitely prefer having a Jefferson start, but not going to cry about having pick 12. I know a lot of people like it. I still would rather just have Jefferson. I'd rather have Chase. But John in here at 5. Happy to see you. Braden in at 5 in another Underdog draft. Okay. Drew says, Mason, how much do I have to donate for you to take Lance round 1 once? I can't do it, my man. Because what's going to happen is people are going to rip the screenshot and act like I was doing it all year. I know how YouTube works. I don't know if I can do it. Don't know if I can do it. Okay. No, Tyreek off the board at 6. God, it's so freaking crazy Tyreek Hill's falling here now. Literally the latest Tyreek Hill used to go is pick 4. And now you're kind of regularly seeing him fall to 5 and 6. Stephon Diggs off the board at 7. What are y'all giving us? Brown goes. Sadly, Trey does not let us to get our guys. Sadly, you have Bijan Robinson off the board here at 10. Let's see what Mark's going to do. Mark, long time member of the flock. He goes Lamb. We're going to go Wilson, and then I am taking Devontae Adams over Amon-Ra St. Brown. Devontae Adams, wide receiver 10, kind of feels like free money. I would have loved to go Lamb Adams, but it is what it is. You're not going to get what you want in every draft. Noah says, Hill just said he's breaking 2,000 yards this season. I honestly think Hill's value falls because that article said he is retiring in 3 years. I understand Tyreek Hill is a businessman. I'm sure Tyreek Hill is a better businessman than I could ever dream to be, but The thing is, if you're Tyreek Hill and you want to make the best business decision possible, you have the rest of your life to make business decisions. You have the rest of your life to go through and do whatever the hell you want outside of football. If you retire early and pass on 20, 25 million for no apparent reason, doesn't seem like a great business decision. At least in my mind. I don't know. Okay, Taylor all the way down to 19. Going Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor should not be allowed. Tyreek Hill looks like he could be the wide receiver 1. Jonathan Taylor, we've seen be the running back 1. I don't know. Mason says he just went Kelsey, JT. In my mind, I'm just taking all the Barkley Taylor mid-second round. I understand. I understand the concern of this Indianapolis Colts offense. How much worse can it be than last year in reality? Like, how much worse? Now, Ramadre off the board 23. I'm assuming we see a Mahomes pick 24. Mr. TD says he got Derrick Henry in the 4th round yesterday. How the hell do y'all get those values on Underdog? Literally, I never see stuff like that mattering. T. Higgins down at 24. Mahomes 25. I like the start of Jefferson, Higgins, Mahomes. I really do like that. Let's see. Tommy says, how about Najee in the 5th? If Najee Harris starts going in the 5th, y'all know Josh Jacobs was my most drafted running back last year. If Najee Harris is going in the 5th round, Najee Harris will be my most drafted running back. And I'm confident in saying that. If Josh Jacobs is my most drafted player last year in over 700 drafts. I mean, if Najee Harris begins to fall, where he has an ADP in the 5th round, Najee Harris will be my most drafted player in fantasy. It will happen. Now, Jalen Hurts off the board 27, so you get to start off with CMC, Devonta Smith, and then Jalen Hurts stacked up. Okay. Allen goes 28, Ridley off 29. Let me see how much Calvin Ridley I have. I just feel like I freaking know Calvin Ridley. And it is a little scary because if Calvin Ridley were to go out there and turn back into Calvin Ridley, I will lose money from fading him here at this price. I only have Calvin Ridley in 3% of these drafts. So it's not like a clear spot where I'm excited to pass on him. Like, I'm not really worried about passing on Kadarius Toney where we do. Like, I'll continue to draft Goddard over Toney with no hesitation. But what I am worried about is continuing to pass on Calvin Ridley here because unlike Kadarius Toney, we've seen Calvin Ridley be elite. Amari Cooper off the board. Let's swing this back around. Trey on the clock. He took Bijan from us round 1. He went Bijan, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Goes Lamar Jackson, 34. We may try something here. Yeah, market word goes Deebo Samuel. So I'm going to mix it up. We're going to go Najee Harris here at running back. I think we're actually going to reach on Travis Etienne as well. In Best Ball Mania, this wouldn't be too unique in that earlier in the year, you actually had a lot of teams taking Najee Harris, Travis Etienne at the 3-4 turn. However, if you're looking at the puppy tournament in particular, really you haven't had too many teams going in this direction. And more so, you have Travis Etienne going in the middle of the 4th round while Najee Harris goes at the beginning of the 4th round. So this is a point where I do think you're getting that unique build while at the same time accessing some upside here at a reasonable price with these two running backs. So yeah, I'm completely fine with this. Completely fine with this. Christian Watson, they're off the board at pick 40. Okay. McLaurin goes 42. You have a massive run on wide receivers here. I mean, that's 7 wide receivers out the gate. I mean, Julius coming out says, I'm in at pick 3. Phone's being slow. We have to queue up our guys. Well, good luck, Julius. Julius going to Christian Kirk there. Pick 46, continuing this wide receiver run. Trey says he only has 2% Lamar. Felt like a good time to mix him in. I actually have a lot of Lamar Jackson, but not a ton of the pass catchers there in Baltimore. I'm essentially making a bet that while a lot of people are projecting the Baltimore Ravens to switch to being a passing heavy team based on the offensive coordinator shift, I don't really think that's going to happen. I think maybe the additional weapons of the passing game actually allow the offense to be more efficient, while at the same time still Lamar Jackson just runs the ball like a madman. I don't know. Justin Fields off 49. I like Fields in this range. I just feel like if you take an elite quarterback at the 2-3 turn, it's tough to go Fields there. Like, I mean, if y'all remember the live stream yesterday, we said we were going to get a little unique and we were going to try something different from the rest of the field and possibly go like Burrow and Justin Fields with the Jamar Chase team. I feel like the investment that you make there going QB at the 4-5 turn rather than taking a QB at the 2-3 turn and then another one at the 4-5 turn, maybe you can get away with going like Burrow Fields, where I feel like going ahead and taking like Mahomes Fields is going to be more difficult. But Eric joining the flock, happy to have you. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much. Now, Herbert off the board, 53. It's a team that hasn't taken any Los Angeles Chargers. That is interesting. Okay, so let's swing this back around. We have Najee, Etienne running back. Wide receiver, we have Garrett Wilson, Avonte Adams. Eric says he just got Burrow in the 5th. Love it. Hopkins off the board. Oh my gosh. DeAndre Hopkins fell to big 56. The latest I've seen DeAndre Hopkins go pretty much since he was cut. It's 10 picks past ADP. Kenneth Walker off the board. I definitely would have taken Kenneth Walker if you would have fallen to us. Dobbins, 58. Mark on the clock is a Tampa guy, so I'm assuming we see Godwin. See, maybe I'm wrong. He goes Kittle. I was actually going to take one of these wide receivers and George Kittle, whoever's going to make it to us. Now we'll go ahead. We'll take Chris Godwin, definitely. And we'll take Miles Sanders here. Stay a little bit balanced, maybe a little running back heavy, depending on what you're saying. But regardless, I think Sanders is a fine price. Let's swing this back around. And dear God, y'all know I was at the lake for a while today, and I am just freaking so thirsty. Ran out of water. Should have filled up a massive jug. Okay. Mark on the clock. He goes Jackson Smith and Jigba at pick 62. If we decided to pass on Sanders, JSN would have been our guy. I am still taking JSN over Lockett. I think if you're looking at like player props, right? Like if you're going looking at the season long projections on Underdog, like they have Tyler Lockett at 800 receiving yards, whereas they have Jackson Smith and Jigba at 725. And I'm not even going to say, oh yeah, no, you have to take the more than with JSN, the fewer than with Tyler Lockett. It's more so that if you're just looking at the range of outcomes and we're trying to turn like $5 into $75,000 in this Underdog tournament, I'm going to go ahead and take the player that I think has the higher ceiling for weeks 15, 16, 17, which in my mind is going to be JSN. So I think maybe you could make an argument that the median projection is going to be higher with Lockett, while at the same time, the ceiling's going to be higher with JSN. Okay. And of course, real quick, if you want to get into one of these drafts with us, or if you want to go check out any of those player props, this is Underdog Fantasy. It's best ball, so no time commitment at all during the year. And if you use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. You get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com, as well as being able to get into these drafts with us each and every day. We're literally doing this every single day until 2024. You can find that link in the live chat, comment section, or description. Available in damn near every state. And also, I know 99% of y'all are already on Underdog, so please, just in case you haven't seen, this Patrick Mahomes line only going to be available until July 21st. Please go ahead and take advantage of that ASAP. Okay, let's move this down. Burks off the board at 71. Connor asking how much JSN do we have? We're at 15% through 110 drafts. Let me see. Let me see, my friend. I have 11% Jackson Smith and Jigba. I have 5% Tyler Lockett, and I have 7% DK Metcalf. So I'm slightly underweight when it comes to DK Metcalf. I'm underweight when it comes to Tyler Lockett, and I'm overweight with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I didn't draft Walker at all earlier in the offseason whenever Kenneth Walker was going at like the 3-4 turn at one point. But now that Kenneth Walker's fallen to being a 5th round pick, I've started taking Kenneth Walker a ton over the past month. So I'm actually up to 12% Kenneth Walker. And Zach Charbonnet, I am at 8%. So I'm right in line with Charbonnet. But I took Zach Charbonnet in the $1,000 draft. So if you look at like my dollars invested, I'm actually overweight on Charbonnet. He will be someone we're rooting for. Okay, so running back, Najee, Etienne, Miles Sanders. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Avonte Adams, Chris Godwin. Okay. Gabe Davis off 80. Swift goes 81. Trey on the clock here. Only 2 wide receivers. Still goes Devontae Adams. I mean, sorry, not Devontae Adams. David Montgomery. There's RB4. Elijah Moore off the board. Y'all know I have no Tony. If he falls 10 picks past ADP, and we're able to get this turn pairing of Kadarius Toney, Isaiah Pacheco, and making a consolidated bet on the Kansas City Chiefs offense, I don't hate it. Like I said, in the vast majority of leagues, I am going ahead and avoiding Kadarius Toney. This seems like a fine price point. Better than where he usually goes in the middle of the 6th round, right? When we made that video calling him the worst pick in fantasy drafts, he was going middle around 6. Here we're getting him at the 7-8 turn. We're pairing him up with another Kansas City Chiefs player. So yeah, wide receiver, we have Wilson, Adams, Godwin, Toney. Running back, we have Najee, Etienne, Miles Sanders, Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, that team there at 8, honestly, you have to be so damn excited with. For what they did going Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley through the first 2 rounds, Mark Andrews round 3, having 0 wide receivers through the first 3 rounds, this is pretty much best case scenario. Mike Williams, Hopkins, Lockett, Gabe Davis, Brandon Cooks. Literally the best case scenario there. Fabio says, I have an unhealthy amount of Brandon Cooks. Let me know who in the live chat is drafting Brandon Cooks, because I feel like, I don't know. I don't even know how much I have with Brandon Cooks. Let me look this up. What's funny is Dak used to go like neck and neck with Brandon Cooks. And now Dak Prescott going to rounds after. I probably have more Dak than Brandon Cooks. So Cowboys offense, let's see what I got. Cowboys offense, I have 10% CeeDee Lamb, 9% Dak Prescott, 7% Gallup, 6% Brandon Cooks, and 5% Tony Pollard. But the way that these drafts work, it's so funny that like I've drafted CeeDee Lamb in 10% of my drafts, but according to Underdog, that totals 337 entry fees. I've drafted Tony Pollard in only 5% of my drafts, so I drafted half the amount of Tony Pollard. But because I took him in the $1,000 draft, I have Tony Pollard in $1,100 worth of leagues. So I have half the amount of Pollard, but 4 times the amount of investment compared to CeeDee Lamb. So it is really funny how it works in terms of like the amount of leagues that you draft versus the dollar amount. And it can be wildly different. Like, let me see. Let me sort by draft percentage versus entry fees. So my entry fees, my most drafted guys are Wan'Dale, number 1, Lance, Pittman, Taylor, Schultz. My percentage is Lance, Pittman, Diggs, Taylor, Kamara. Dak Prescott off 104. Fabio says low on Pollard this year. For whatever reason, I always convince myself to go elsewhere compared to Tony Pollard. Like I'd rather grab an elite level quarterback there at the 2-3 turn. But I would not advise to follow my advice when it comes to where we are drafting Tony Pollard, because on paper, Tony Pollard looks like a league winner. Just for whatever reason, it's hard for me to draft him. And like, I'm probably not putting out a video this year saying avoid Tony Pollard, because I think Tony Pollard could possibly go out there and absolutely crush. But it's just something in me that has a hard time drafting him. Now, we made a bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars offense with ETN. We're going to continue that bet here with the Jags offense with Evan Ingram. We're going to take Anthony Richardson as our QB1, just grabbing someone that has a lot of rushing upside, right? Like, we don't have any Colts. If Alec Pierce makes it to us later on, we could take Alec Pierce. But in reality, not too concerned about stacking Anthony Richardson, because when we are taking him here, I mean, we're pretty much making a bet that he is going to be a quarterback that has a lot of rushing production. Okay. Mark was hoping for Dak. I'm assuming you had Lamb, right? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb, pick 11. Who took Dak? The Brandon Cooks team took Dak Prescott. I can't blame them for taking Dak Prescott there, 104, if they took Brandon Cooks, pick 89. That team is super interesting. That team at pick 8 made some selections early on, such as like Eckler, that I probably wouldn't have done. But I think it's worked out for him. I think it has. Okay. Let's move this down. T-Kel says Cooks will be back to his normal 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. Vadim has 8.9% Cooks. Adam, 24% Gallup, 20% Cooks. Prayers up for Dak. Dear God, if Lamb goes down, you are printing. Okay. Lance says, we here. Sorry I couldn't make it. Even third team reps take all day. Well, happy that you came, my friend. And I may or may not have just been watching Trey Lance clips on Twitter for the past 15 minutes on this live stream. Some pretty cool new Trey Lance clips on Twitter. Little practice cut up. So I may or may not have been spending the last 15 minutes staring at those, my friend. Sports Coming Out says, what do you think about Jonathan Taylor this year if I can grab him third round? Hell, I'm drafting JT in the second round. So if you can get JT in the third round, I think you're crushing. Okay. Let's move this down. Jarrett McKinnon off the board. We have a very well-balanced team. I mean, one quarterback with Anthony Richardson, 4 running backs with Najee, Etienne, Miles Sanders, Isaiah Pacheco, 4 wide receivers with Garrett Wilson, Avonte Adams, Chris Godwin, Kadarius Toney, and a tight end with Evan Ingram. So if you're looking at the primary offenses that we've made that bet on so far, we bet on Jacksonville with Etienne and Evan Ingram, and we bet on KC with Isaiah Pacheco and Kadarius Toney. Yes, I did draft Trey Lance on our $1,000 team. I believe so. I'm almost 99% sure. So if I didn't, please don't scream at me, but I'm pretty sure I did. Okay, Zay Jones off the board, 128. Duke says, JT just got married, so I'm expecting a 300-plus yard season. I have a theory that I want to run by y'all. Let me know what y'all think of this. And I could be completely off base, so please let me know what you think. But I have a theory that most people who are uber successful are married / have a significant other. I came up with this theory by watching the Netflix quarterback series with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes obviously met his wife in high school, blah, blah, blah. Same with the same girl. You look at LeBron James. LeBron James married his high school sweetheart. I feel like the uber successful people, I don't know, generally aren't single running around town trying to pick up girls or pick up guys, vice versa. You know what I mean? But let me know in the live chat what you think of my theory. My theory could be completely wrong. Mr. TD says same with Steph Curry. Okay, Dulcich off the board. I actually kind of like Greg Dulcich at this point, but I don't know. Who are we going with? Take Rondell because I don't know who to take, and Dalton Schultz, so we only have to draft 2 tight ends. Okay. Let's move this down. But let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Love Star says Elon Musk is single and he's going to Mars. Okay, yeah, that may have just completely disproven my theory. That's why I have to bring up the theories with y'all. Derek Jeter somewhat disproves the theory. People that don't have to worry about it can focus on other things. Can never be proven, but I like a good theory. Noah agrees with us. Slip Takes agrees with us. Floyd Mayweather has entered the chat. Okay, so maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're wrong here. Yes, look at Mason Dodd. Perfect example. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Theory does not sound like it checks out. Now, I will have some theories that y'all need to shoot down every once in a while, but that's why it's just a theory. Just a theory. Okay. Now let's move this down. Gallup 137, KJ Osborne 136. Fabio says less late nights and pop and bot. That's the basis of the theory, right? The basis of the theory is you're not out there messing around. Like I had my tennis coach tell us in high school one year, and it's such a good quote, and I wish I would have taken it more seriously. And it's a very basic quote. Like most people have probably heard it, but it is so damn true that nothing good happens after midnight. Like most people would be much better off if just midnight comes, they go, yeah, I got to go home. I got to go to bed. But Mark Word says, newsflash, Mason thinking about proposing to a girlfriend. Come on. Who said that, my friend? Who said that? Now, Chris says, Anthony Richardson isn't good enough to be a backup in the NFL. Chris, here's what I'm going to need you to do, my friend. I need you to call the Indianapolis Colts and say, hey guys, bad news. My name is Chris. I have watched some highlights on YouTube. And I am sad that I'm the guy who has to break this news to y'all. But the quarterback y'all just took top 5 in the NFL draft, he's not even good enough to be a backup. All right. Call him up. I'm sure if you Google Indianapolis Colts front office phone number, it'll be there. Let me see if we can find this. Indy Colts phone number front office. Okay. Here we go. Got it for you. If you want to break the news to him, Chris, that Anthony Richardson's not good enough to be a backup, they should probably know that sooner rather than later so they can stop wasting time and they could cut him. Okay. Now, Roshan off the board. You have Dalton Kincaid falling like a rock. Super interesting to see him fall this far. Chris coming out says, hey, Mason, I have another question. Would you suggest to trade up to get a first 4 dynasty startup pick, the 104-207 for the 108-302? Do you mean the 104-302 versus the 108-207? I would trade the 108-207 for the 104-302 if that's what you mean, my friend. Would love that. I actually think we're going to call an audible here and maybe take 3 tight ends, given the value we're getting on Dalton Kincaid. No, because if we go with the 3rd tight end here, we're going to take Kyler, pair him up with Rondale Moore. Kincaid could outscore Chark, so we're going to take Kincaid. Don't love it. Probably shouldn't do it. Probably should have gone DJ Chark. Y'all know I have a lot of DJ Chark, but it is what it is. Jay Millie asking if we're getting another draft going after this. If we hit 600 likes in this live stream, my friend, we'll fire up another draft. We've had about 2,800 likes on this. 2,800 views on this stream. So definitely a possibility. And of course, if y'all want to get into our next draft with us, you can find that link in the live chat description, comment section. Promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match up to $200, plus our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And please, everybody, make sure you're going ahead and taking advantage of the free Patrick Mahomes line that they have up until, I believe, the 21st. But take advantage of it before the 21st, please. Okay. Now, Chris says, so it's the 104-207 for the 108-202. I'd get the 104. Oh, hell yeah. Go get 104. Yes, please go get the 104. That way you can go ahead and lock in Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, one of those guys. Love it. Okay. Let's move this over. Adam says, what was college Mason Dodd like? Social party animal or a fantasy football hermit? Say probably a mix of both. Definitely, I don't want to say party animal. By no means party animal. It depends. Freshman year Mason Dodd, a mix of both. But then sophomore year Mason Dodd, he started on YouTube and became obsessed with making YouTube videos on top of fantasy football. And then senior year Mason Dodd, that's when... That was 2020 or 2021. One of those years, and regardless. And I got big on YouTube and started working. I was taking like 21 hours of classes because I graduated with 2 degrees in 4 years. So I was taking an absurd amount of classes and was working on YouTube like 60 hours a week. So I'd wake up, go to my desk, work nonstop, go to the gym, and then work and live stream until like 2 in the morning. and then do it all over again. Did not take a single day off all year. So, depends. The beginning of college, say Mason was like a weirdo. I don't say weird. I don't even know. Average dude. Listen to probably too many fantasy football podcasts. Probably watched too much Netflix in his dorm. End of college, Mason was a full-blown workaholic. But, yeah, I think that's probably a fair description. Okay. Let's smooth this over. Eagles goes Ezekiel Elliott. We still need a running back here. Was there news on Jaden Reed? Moster goes 178. Trey Lance asking if there's a certain round 17, 18 player that would really make this team great. I have someone in mind, my man. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take Jaden Reed and then Khalil Shakir. Jaden Reed, because he's the value that's falling, we need a wide receiver. Shakir, we've already made that bet on the Buffalo Bills offense by taking Dalton Kincaid. Might as well go ahead, double down on that bet here. Can work out in a multitude of different ways. One, Stephon Diggs goes down, then bam, both the other guys hit. Or just in general, if the passing offense is a little bit better than people expect in Buffalo this next year. But let's move this back around. Dylan says, I don't even know who Jaden Reed is. Hate when I have to take him. An okay prospect. He broke out as a sophomore. Dominated as a junior. For whatever reason, he went back to school as a senior. If he declared after his junior season, I think he would have been a much better prospect. But regardless, I mean, hell, he gets drafted in the second round to a depth chart that has Christian Watson, and that's about it. Okay. Mark Word says, don't worry, Mason. I took Purdy, so you didn't have to sweat it. Yeah, I wasn't worried about sweating Brock Purdy. I'll tell you that much, my man. It's not worried about that. Okay. Fabio asking if we see a resurgence in Allen Robinson's career in Pittsburgh. No, I do not. Allen Robinson's done. I'm sorry to say it. I am sorry to say it, everybody. But Jalen Hyatt off the board at 187. Gesicki goes, obviously we were wanting to see tight ends go. We need one more running back in the last spot. I don't know if we want to take a quarterback. Or take another wide receiver. Wide receiver, we have Garrett Wilson, Avante Adams, Chris Godwin, Kadarius Toney, Rondale Moore, Jaden Reed, Shakir. We probably need a wide receiver. All right. This will be the team that says, what if Kyler Murray comes back week 1? What if? Duke says, I work at Lambeau and can give you the inside scoop that Jaden Reed is healthy. We may need some inside scoops this next year, my man. I know you've been a long time member of the flock. I believe this is the first inside scoop we've gotten. So, if you could have given us the inside scoop last year, come on, my man. Come on. Mike says, is Texas the best state? I say Texas is pretty nice. Now, I've never been to New York. I've never been to California. I would imagine that they're probably a little bit better than Texas. But also at the same time, what I do know for a damn fact is they're a lot more expensive and the taxes are a lot higher. Love Star says, I live 5 miles from Lambeau and I can confirm Reed has been drafted by the Packers. Phenomenal insight. Thank you for the insight, my friend. Thank you. NRG says, Texas is the best state. I've been to 47 of them. Okay, that's a way better judgment than I can give here. Mr. TD says, don't be skimping out on the inside scoops. Yes, if anybody here watching this live stream has an inside scoop, here's what I need from you, okay? And this is all seriousness. I need you to create a burner Twitter account, protect your identity. become my inside scoop man. If you have an inside scoop, if you have a connection somewhere, send it to your boy. And I won't even say it on YouTube. Like if you are Leonard Fournette's agent and somehow you like fantasy football and you know Leonard Fournette's about to sign with the Kansas City Chiefs, shoot me over a message. Be like, hey man, yeah, Fournette's probably going to be in Kansas City in a couple months. He'll probably sign in August. I won't even say, hey, someone DM'd me on Twitter claiming that blah, blah, blah. I'll keep that between us, my friend. I'll just say, everybody draft Leonard Fournette. I got a feeling. And then whenever it happens, I'll act like I called it and I'll act like I was a genius. Okay? So that's what I'm going to need from y'all. And here, our running back, well, go Ty Chandler. Who the hell cares? Who the hell knows? And we'll go McCall Hardman and pair him up with Garrett Wilson. Okay. Now, let's show off this draft board here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to think about this draft. Don't know what to think about it. Ashton says, what do I get out of it, though? My man, what do you get out of it? I've dedicated my life to live streaming every single day for y'all without missing a single day. You get to help out your friend who's doing a mighty, mighty fine job here showing up to this bad boy every single day. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking. Dylan says $2.99 commish per scoop. Yes. How about this? I'll pay you on a per scoop basis. If you shoot me a message, say, hey man, Dalvin Cook's going to sign in Miami next week, whatever, I got my sources, and it happens, I'll pay you on a scale of how valuable the information was, anywhere from $1.99 to $2.99. Like if you tell me where Ezekiel Elliott's going to sign, that's probably down to like $1.99. If you tell me where Dalvin Cook's going to sign, that's probably up to about $2.99, right? If you tell me where Hopkins is going, be even higher. And Adam out here says Hopkins going to the Chiefs, Chris Jones contract getting restructured, and they're leaving emojis on each other's social media. As a Chiefs fan, draft your Hopkins stock now. Oh, I would love that to be the case. But if it happens, my friend, let me know your Venmo, and I would rate this inside scoop at $3.99. I'll send you over $3.99, my friend. But thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with us in this live stream. Really, really do appreciate y'all. That's why we're going to go ahead and live stream every single day until 2024. And if y'all want to get into a draft with us on one of these live streams, if you want to go check out any of those player props over on Underdog, I'd say now is definitely the time to do so, because now is when they have the puppy tournament live on Underdog. The best time to get in is these cheap tournaments so you can have some fun, get some practice in for your main fantasy football draft this next year. It's $5 buy-in, $500,000 prize pool, $75,000 for first place. Remember, the Flock actually won the first place prize for $75,000 last year. If you use promo code FLOCK when you sign up, match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200 to get our rankings, get a free trial to flockfantasy.com. Also, now you got to go over there because they have a free Patrick Mahomes lineup until July 21st. And this is where Underdog is available, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all I got for you. Thank you. Really do appreciate y'all. Really hope you have a great night, and really hope that I get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow.